your tools
Right.
in dealing with this issue, is there something are there things that you'd want to do differently? Were you to revisit all
Definitely.
those issues? I see the factors that are coming at you, but you responded.
Yes.
When you look at your tools of response, what goes through your mind?
Yes, definitely I would do things differently. But some I would perfect.
Okay.
Yeah. I have no regrets over anything that I did, because we were going through an extraordinary period without any precedent in the history of our country. It was a period which it was easier to give up than to continue. It was a period when you would really wake up and you wondered whether you really should go to work or not. But you also had to realize that governors have got a duty to instill confidence in the people. If a governor starts crying, what about the ordinary person in the street? They will commit suicide. So we had to engage, I had to engage in some necessary ambiguity with constructive intent to deal with certain things.
And necessary ambiguity with constructive intent.
Yes, necessary ambiguity.
Right.
Necessary. Yeah.
Necessary.
Where we had situations where I would know that the pipeline is empty, but you can't tell the nation.
Public.
They will panic. We had our fair share of fuel shortages, electricity shortages, maize.
So you say that you have no regrets, but there's stuff that you'd fine tune, that you'd approach differently. One or two that you'd fine tune. What would be those?
I would be more. I would be more forthright with my principles than I was, because when you look at it, a lot. And I wrote to say in my monetary policies, and I would say that the ink is still the paint is still too wet for you to lean against the wall. In other words, there were times when we would be making progress in reduction of inflation, but all of a sudden, the politicians would make decisions that reverse everything. There were things like the Indigenization and Empowerment Act. I think the record will show that I was one of the most vocal persons against that. And I said, it is killing investor confidence. But was I listened to?
No.
But where are we? 10 years down the line, 10 years after I left, that's when people realized that that piece of legislation, which was quite an emotive one, was I was emphasizing more on productivity. But would people listen? There were still inversions long after the land reform had been done. Now, what would I do differently?
Yeah.
I would hold people to account. I used to say that...
Who are those people?
I would...
The politicians,
yes,
or the men on the street?
Yes, men on the street and the politicians. I would be more prescriptive and a lot more directive than I was. I would always say, you can appoint all Zimbabweans to become governors, but there was an elephant in the room, which unless it was exercised, all the 14 million governors that you would appoint will never succeed.
What was that elephant in the room?
It's still there. Yeah, it is still there.
What is it?
We all know.